Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you are returning, you already know it. You are fabulous. All right, so today's video, guys, this is a Dollar Tree DIYs Christmas video. So I've just moved into my brand new house and I'm trying to get my craft room set up. So I just put it together, a couple little last minute things that I wanted to share with you guys. I'd had these DIYs in mind for a while, but I just have not been able to get anything done because I've been working on a new house. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. It definitely helps my channel. Don't forget to share this with your friends and family and subscribe. That would be awesome. Plus hit that notification bell so that you will know each time I upload a new video. All right, guys, let's jump right in. All right, guys, so for this first one, I have got a 3-ring beaded wreath ring, I'm assuming is what this is. I got this from the Dollar General. It was $10. And then I've also got a ton of Dollar Tree florals, tons of them. So the first thing I did was just snip off one of the rings. I only wanted it to be a 2-ringed garland, or however you say this, whatever this thing is. So in order to hang this the way that I wanted to, because I was more or less hanging it upside down, I needed to glue some of the beads together so that the 2 rings would actually stay together when you put it on the wall, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Anyways, I just glued some of the beads together so that way that this thing would stay together. I then took some of my florals from the Dollar Tree, cut them up, crisscrossed them, tied them up with a zip tie, and then added in some of these gorgeous red mums. I've had those red mums since fall. Guys, I added that to my wreath ring with a zip tie, and check out how pretty this is. And it was so stinking easy. It's gorgeous. All right, guys, so for this next one, I've got these gorgeous, gorgeous trees that I picked up at the Dollar General. They were $1 a piece. So pretty, guys. They're natural wood. Now, we're going to do something a little different with them, but all you do is slide one down over the top of the other, and then they stand up. I've got these things all over my house, guys. They are so cute. Now, I'm going to be using sage. This is a new color by Waverly, and then also celery by Waverly, and a little bit of white acrylic paint, just any kind of white acrylic paint. I'm also going to be using my water bottle, so I sprayed down all of my trees. I wanted to give these a little bit of color, but I did not want to just paint them. I wanted them to look more like they were stained. So that's what I did. I added my water, and then I began to paint on some of the paint. So I just added the water, painted my paint on, and then I'm going to go with a baby wipe and wipe it back off. And then it literally looks like it is stained. Is this not so pretty? Oh my gosh, I love it. You can still see the wood grain in it. It's perfect. And I love that sage color by Waverly. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous green color, guys. Like, I literally want to paint my craft room sage by Waverly. I'm thinking about taking it to the store and telling them to color match sage by Waverly, because I'm telling you, it is such a pretty color. So I painted all my trees, put them all together, and then added some of that white paint to make it look like snow. Now, number 3 DIY goes with number 2. So let's get on into number 3. I have got 3 acrylic reindeer that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I've also got this little wooden sign that I got for $3 in the Dollar Tree Plus section. It's just a little wooden sign. First, I'm just going to remove the hanger from that sign. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of Waverly Antique Wax. So I wanted to just kind of stain this. I'm also going to be using some black and some gold. The black is Ceramicoat, and then the gold that I'm going to be using is by Arteza. Now, I painted the little sign, the wooden sign, with the antique wax. I then painted my reindeer with that black Ceramicoat, and I love that black Ceramicoat. It covers anything, y'all. It's just like chalk paint. It even dries like a matte color. It's just great paint. I also painted the reindeer's antlers with the gold. Now is when all of this is going to kind of come together, the two DIYs. So I took my reindeer and glued them down to my little stand. I wanted to do something with both of these DIYs, and I just wasn't sure what. So I decided to put the two together and just make one cute little thing you could sit around. It's perfect for winter, Christmas, just whatever. So anyways, I added my reindeer, and then I began to add my trees to that wooden stand. So stinking easy. This turns out really cute. Now, like I said, I started both of these DIYs and really didn't know what I was going to do with them. And then it just all kind of came together. I'm going to take some of the snow that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree, along with some Aleene's tacky glue that you can also get at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to use that tacky glue to paint onto the edges of the trees, and then a little on the board itself around like the reindeer's feet. That way we can add on the snow and it'll have something to stick to. So I just sprinkled the snow right over the top of this. I'm then going to take the entire tray, flip it upside down, kind of shake it a little bit, and check it out. I love this. Okay, guys, for this next one and my favorite from this video, I've got a little sign, beaded sign from the Dollar Tree, along with a nativity set that I picked up at the Family Dollar, but you can also get it at the Dollar Tree. So the first thing that I did was just pop the back out of that sign. I also took the beads off. We're going to be using Antique Wax by Waverly and Black by Ceramicoat. So I painted the frame of the sign with that black Ceramicoat. I gave it 2 really good coats. Now we're going to go back and distress it, but I did want it to have a good coat. I also stained all of the pieces to the nativity set. Now I took this scrapbook paper, traced out that center portion of the sign, cut it out with my scissors, and then we're going to use a little bit of Aleene's tacky glue to adhere that to that little piece of cardboard. Now that center portion of the sign was like, it was just like thick cardboard. It wasn't MDF or anything like that. I used a baby wipe to wipe off any excess glue, and then I made sure that it was pressed down really, really well and that the edges were really good and stuck. I'm then going to use a little bit of hot glue just to glue this right back into place in the sign. Super, super simple. Now, I used a little bit of sandpaper to distress this piece. I just went around all the edges and the corners and like the inside, but Super simple. Y'all see me just stress 100 million things on this channel. I then began to glue down all of my nativity pieces, except for the poor wise men. They did not make the cut. I'm sorry, but there just was no room for them. There was no way to put them in there and it look right. So all we got is Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus. And then we're going to put that, the manger scene or whatever that's called, right over the top of this sign. Super duper simple. This turns out so stinking cute, guys. I just glued that down. I literally used hot glue to glue all of my pieces down. I then used my heat gun to get rid of any of the little hot glue strings that were everywhere. And then I just used a little bit more hot glue to glue the beads back onto the sign. So this could be like a shelf sitter. You could use this and put it on your tree. You could also put it on a tiered tray. I mean, this is just so stinking cute, guys. Check it out. I absolutely love this. All right, for this next one, I've got 2 mason jars. Now, they've got Christmas trees on them, but I just wanted to show y'all how easy it is to create something that you could put out for Christmas, and it really does look great. So I took 2 of these mason jars. I painted them with with plaster chalk paint by Waverly. I gave them 2 really good coats. I then went in with a little bit of antique wax by Waverly and distressed them with my baby wipes. So I was wiping some of the paint back off with the baby wipes and also wiping the antique wax along. So just smeared it on, wiped it back off with a baby wipe. I then took some ribbon and I was going to tie this around and make a little shoestring bow, but I just did not have enough of the ribbon to do so. So what I decided to do was take the red and white buffalo check, gingham, whatever, and just wrap that right around the rim of this jar, and then take some of the other ribbon, create a little shoestring bow, dovetail my ends, and then I'm going to glue that bow right to the side of the jar. So easy. And if you had several of these, like maybe 3 or 4 or 5, however you want to do it, you could set these up in the center of your kitchen table and make these a centerpiece. That's how pretty they are, and they are so simple. I just added in a few of my Christmas picks that I had. Some of them came from the Dollar General. Some of them came from Dollar Tree. I also took some of the pitberry garland and wrapped it around one of the jars. I wanted them to be a little different. You'll see in the end that they are a little different, but I just didn't want them to look exactly the same. So I wrapped a little of that around them, and then that is all I did to these. Check out how pretty they are. Seriously, y'all. guys, for this last one, I've got 2 of these little shelf sitter signs that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, along with some of these gift bags from the Dollar General. I also have some of these words that I picked up at Walmart. I believe they were around $3 or so for the 4-pack. And then I've got some baker's twine and some cotton twine. So the first thing I did was just remove that metal tag from each of the little shelf sitters. I don't recommend doing it with scissors like I did, but whatever, that's how I did it. So I took one of the bags and I'm just going to cut off the strings, and then I'm also going to cut a little snip in the side so that I can rip it the rest of the way open. I need to get all of the material from this that I can. So I'm trying to really use, as much of it as I can. So I straighten it all out, figure out where my center is, and then cut it in half. I'm going to use both pieces. Before we do that, I'm going to take some white linen by Rust-Oleum chalk paint, and I'm going to paint the bottom half of these little signs. So the part where the metal tag came off, I just painted that with one good coat of some of that white linen chalk paint. I'm then going to take some Aleene's Tacky Glue again. Y'all know I love this glue. I use it pretty much in every DIY, but anyways, I added it to the little sign, making sure to get it all the way around the edges and all that. I added a little too much to the second one, but that's besides the point. So I just scooped it up and put it back in the can, or back in the jar. Okay, so once I got my glue like I wanted it, I made sure there weren't any little threads or anything on my material, and then I placed my material on the sign. Now, when you're working with something like plaid or something that has straight lines on it, you need to be really careful as you lay your material down, because you don't want to like bunch it or slide it in any way to where it's going to make your lines off center. Does that make sense? Anyways, once I had those on and they had dried, I took some sandpaper and I used that to trim off the excess that was around each of the signs. It's so much easier to do it that way, and you get a really clean line when you use the sandpaper. So I did both of them that way. I'm then going to take my little words. These are little metal words. And we're going to use some Starbond multi-purpose adhesive along with the accelerator. So you put the super glue on whatever you're gluing. Super easy. Then you're going to spray the accelerator on what you're gluing it to. Stick the two together and it becomes like a hard plastic. So this stuff, I'm telling you, you will probably never get these words off of this sign now. That's how well this glue works. It's so, so good. Now, I found this little contraption at the Dollar Tree. I decided I would try it. I wanted to bring it home, try it out, and this was the perfect project to do so. This is a pom-pom maker. Okay? So what we're going to do is take some of that baker's twine. Now, this would have worked out much better had I used yarn, but I didn't have any yarn. So anyways, I used the baker's twine. You're just going to start out, you're going to twist it around each side. So you want to twist it until you've got a really thick, full side on it. You'll see in a minute how thick I did it, but I bet you I wrapped it over 100 times around this thing. That's why I say it would have been a lot easier to do with yarn. Number one, I wouldn't have had to use so much. And then number two, it wouldn't have been as hard to get off of this thing had I used yarn. But that's totally besides the point. I used what I had. We're just going to go with it. So like I said, I just wrapped it several times around this thing. I'm going to do the same exact thing to the other side. We're just going to wrap it up just like we did the other side. And then it's time to begin removing it from the thing, the contraption, whatever you call it, pom-pom maker. So you're just going to run your scissors between the two pieces of plastic, and you're going to cut off or cut across your loop. I don't know how to explain this, y'all, but I hope that you guys can see what I'm doing. But you just go right in between those two pieces of plastic and cut the twine. Now, it would have been better had I, number one, used yarn, but also if I'd had a better set of scissors. But this is what it's going to look like after you have cut all of your loops. You're then going to take another piece of twine, run it in between the two, and tie it off with a double knot. Seems easy enough, right? Okay, then you're going to take this little contraption apart. So you're just going to open it up and then undo it, like it connects in the middle. So I just opened it up and then I'm going to pull it completely apart. Boom. And look at there, we got a pom-pom. How cool. Now, I trimmed it off with my scissors, just trimmed it up, made sure that everything looked nice and cohesive. Everything was about the same length. And we're going to use that to stick right on top of our little sign. But first, we're going to make another one for the other one. Now, I did this one a little different. Instead of using the pom-pom maker, I just got a piece of cork, wrapped it around about 100 times or so. I had a hard time getting it off of the cork. But anyways, once I had all my little loops, I just took a piece of twine and tied it off in the center. Guys, it was the same concept as using the pom-pom maker, but this was a lot easier to do. Anyways, and then you've got a pom-pom. I literally went around this thing, trimmed it up just like I did the other one, and check it out. So I would go with the second way of making it, but either way, the little pom-pom maker is pretty neat. I mean, I'll have to say it was a pretty good buy. But I used some hot glue to adhere these to the top of my signs. Trimmed it up a little bit, made sure everything was nice and perfect. And then we're just going to use a little hot glue and connect it to the sign. And these are so darling. Look at that. They look like little toboggans. I love it. All right, guys, that was it for today. I thank you so much for being with me and hanging out, checking out this video. I hope that y'all have enjoyed this. I absolutely love making Christmas DIYs. It's probably my favorite time of the year to DIY. So anyways, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Speaking of videos, y'all go check out my latest video. That was a new house walkthrough. So I just got through decorating for Christmas in our new house, and I would absolutely love it if you went and watched that video. I'm so proud to be in our house, and I'm just so grateful. All right, guys, thank you all so much for being with me today, and y'all have a blessed day.